Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game. Ren here. And if you're a fan of RPGs and general discussions about the games we all know and love, then you've definitely found a friend in this channel. We post at least one video a week on topics from new releases, pickup videos, to talking about the games that have reached hallowed status in my heart. So join me today as we talk about the top 10 games I played in 2020. Let's check them out. Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that I beat a lot of games that were a part of a series this year. So in an effort to prevent this top 10 being essentially 2 or 3 series, I'm going to limit myself to my favorite game from those series, and then I'm going to tell quick blurbs about the others in the series I played that I really loved this year. So with that, let's get to number 10, Dusk Diver. This game is one heck of a blind buy surprise for me. You know, impulse buying never pays off in my life. However, man, thank you Amazon Recommended for dropping this beauty of a gem in my lap. I am a sucker for brawler and hack and slash games, but this game actually offers some diversity in taking down dozens of baddies. The cast is over the top in their interactions, and you know what? It's glorious from start to finish. Love the characters and the cast, the dialogue, their designs and animations. You know, if you love Tokyo Mirage Sessions and you like hack and slash games, then you need to hit this one up right now. You will not be disappointed. Number 9, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore. What a mouthful to say, and you know what? I have to say it every time, but man, this game is the living embodiment of a guilty pleasure. Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem matchup? Not so much. However, Persona and Fire Emblem? Oh yeah, for sure. It's fun, it's challenging, and it's extremely over-the-top silly. The art direction and character designs in this game are top-notch anime fun. I love running around the city, and as I said in the previous game, Dusk Diver, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore has its own distinct visuals that have left their own impact on the gaming market. This game is not as popular as the SMT or Persona series, but the fans of this game are so passionate about it, and they swear by its combat, and you know what? For good reason. Incredible game. Number 8, Tales of Vesperia. There is something so profound about Tales of Vesperia. This Xbox 360 classic got a port to the Switch, and it finally entered my world. My God, am I so thankful for it. Sometimes it can be hard for you to put your finger on that one thing that makes you love a video game. But this is definitely not the case in Tales of Vesperia. Yuri Lowell is without question one of the most interesting and well-written heroes in the entirety of JRPGs. His motivations and thought process are so unique, as is his ends justify the means approach to righting the wrongs of the world. It is a story of self-sacrifice, and the entire party of characters is one of the most lovable I have ever met in a video game. I want to say I have not traditionally been a fan of the Tales formula for combat in the past. It's not that I hate it, but it just never really grabbed my attention fully. The combat is fun and diverse, but the story and characters are where it's at for me in this game. Highly, highly recommend if you're a fan of great storytelling and character development in a video game. Number 7, Dead Cells. You know, when I'm between mega long video game sessions, the Metroidvania genre is my go-to. I keep coming back to it. Dead Cells was really my first foray into the roguelike genre. What an absolute blast to play. I've also been told that Hades is a game that I definitely need to check out, so after I get done playing that one, you can expect it to show up on this channel. The visuals of Dead Cells are nostalgically perfect. Those colors and animations remind me of days gone by so badly. And I have to say, the combat and controls in Dead Cells are varied and diverse, giving unique and adaptive ways to play each run of the game. Even though there's only 3 bosses, a full run of this game is totally doable in a single sitting. It gives so much fulfilling and rewarding combat. I'm so excited to get back to this game in the future and start playing the DLC. And also, I gotta check me out some Hades. Number 6. Ys, Memories of Sulceta. I stumbled onto the Ys series about a year ago, and I fell head over heels for Ys 8. My god, these 2 games deserve so much more notoriety than they're receiving. Until that day happens, I will continue to love this beautiful series for what it is and shout its praises from the mountaintops. I have only ever played Ys 8 and the DS versions of books 1 and 2. This series has evolved so much with its combat, and I absolutely love the 3 party member approach. But I'm also very excited to try out Ys Origins in the coming weeks. Combat takes this very cool approach of having each character contain their own advantages to combat, such as blunt, slashing, and piercing damage. Then, depending on the enemies you are facing, you're always incentivized to switch between your casts to take advantage of the enemy's weaknesses to the particular weapons. Fluid, fast-paced, and never getting old. I love how these games play. Come on Ys 9, I cannot wait for you to come out on Switch. I gotta give a shout out to my boy Adol, such an incredible silent protagonist. I played this on the Vita, and for the love of God, put this thing on Switch. I've heard some people give this game some hate for its story presentation and pacing compared to like Ys 8, but I want to tell you, this game owns. Classic combat and some cool, interesting places. If you have not played Ys Memories of Sulceta or Ys 8, then feel free to jump right in. Each entry is a contained story and an absolute blast from the combat to the unique, lovable party members. Number 5. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I don't know how it happened. I'll be honest, I didn't even know it could happen. But my god, did I fall in love with the Musou genre this year. I had heard about it in the past from my circle of nerds, but it was never really talked about in a positive light. But man, did Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity turn us all into Musou fans this year. This game's visuals are shockingly accurate to the distinct Breath of the Wild palette. The diversity between the characters is on point, and my god, this game is an absolute adrenaline-filled guilty pleasure. Breath of the Wild is such a wonderful game, and I fell in love with it and the entire cast. The lore and the world that Breath of the Wild has is so endearing, and it draws you in. The way Breath of the Wild presents its story always makes you wonder what life was like before the calamity hit. This game's incredible concept, solid, addicting combat, and man, that demo blew me away, and this quickly became hallowed status in my heart. Number 4. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2. I have played the first 3 in the Trails of Cold Steel series this year, and absolutely was swept away by each of them. This world sucked me right in. I have the first 2 on Vita, and the 3rd on Switch, and I'm trying to restrain myself until the 4th comes out on Switch to play it. My absolute favorite so far is, without a doubt, Trails of Cold Steel 2. I cannot state how much this story and gameplay ranks for me as one of my favorites in all of gaming. Trails is that epic story of putting together the perfect team to take on an impossible mission. I love each of this incredible trilogy so far. And again, do I have to state how badly I want the 4th one to come out on Switch already? This game was such a joy for me to play on the Vita. That mobility and ease to start and stop in an instant is perfect for me. Really, it is shocking how much better this game runs on the Vita than the first one. One was incredible to play, but it did have longer load times than the second one. Also, this game has a really nice and satisfying ending while leaving you wanting more. Ereboni is such a rich and living world, and this game has you exploring all of it in an open world style. The first one introduces you to this rich, living world, and the second one opens it up to you to explore. Riding around on motorcycles or even on horseback while you reunite with the members of Class 7? Goodness gracious, Bowser's fireballs, that is wonderful. Reen's story is endearing, and Cold Steel has one of the largest and lovable cast of characters in the entire genre. It takes guts to make a series that is one continuous story. The writing team at Falcom will not disappoint. Their ability to keep you entertained over the course of this 70 to 80 hour entry, it will leave you wanting more at the end of it. It's an incredible story. It's a fascinating entry, and even though 2 is my favorite, 1 and 3 are equally as glorious in my eyes. Number 3. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Some games are famous, and others are the things of legend. The myths and rumors of this game lured me like a moth to flame. Maybe there's a masochist somewhere deep inside my soul, but after I had finished all the Persona games I had access to, I eventually found my way down a deep, foreboding rabbit trail that led me so deep I ended up in the third Culpa. My God. Yikes, what a ride. You know, SMT4, SMT4 Apocalypse, Strange Journey, even Nocturne, especially Nocturne, I should say, are some of the most satisfying and thoroughly profound achievements I have ever had in gaming. I'm by no means a pro, but these games were not easy. I want to give a special shout out to the Minotaur from SMT4 and Mott from Nocturne. Yeezus. This game broke me, then taught me how to love the press turn battle system. SMT Nocturne may have elements of an RNG hellscape at times, but man is it fun to play. The combat system stands the test of time still, and the haunting story and visuals will stay with you well after you see that true demon ending. I cannot wait for this to come to the Switch. Oh boy. Number 2. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. The Xenoblade series took my heart by storm after I played Xenoblade 2 for the Switch. It was one of my earliest games for the system. Pretty much, Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade 2 clinched the Switch's ability to have massively long games on them, but be able to play them at the leisurely convenience of handheld gaming. And what's incredible is these games all hold up really well and still look good on the Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition looks and runs even better than Xenoblade 2 did at release. I love this franchise, and this release is one of my favorites in all of gaming. The changes from the original were quality, and though there are criticisms about the visual design changes to the characters, I think this game has such a distinct and gorgeous art style. The landscapes and level designs in this game literally almost trigger my severe fear of heights. I love the characters in this game so much. The combat's easy to learn, and the story had me so laser focused through my playthrough, the 100 hours flew by. I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. You want your combat system to be approachable, yet offer depth for those who love to min-max and do the tougher challenges in the game. I think I've only beaten 2 of the world bosses so far in this game, but I plan to keep coming back for playthrough after playthrough because I love this game so much. Such a superb gaming experience of the highest levels, and I cannot recommend this game enough to someone who's coming off of MMORPGs like myself. Well worth the investment. Number 1. Persona 5 Royal. How does Atlus keep doing it? Persona 5 Royal is the culmination of Atlus honing their craft over the decades. Sleek in a style that has taken the superb visuals and UI design of Persona 4 and elevated it to jazzy red and black heights. Is it wrong to be in love with a game's user interface? If so, I don't want to be right anymore. As seen from this list already, I am a mega fan of the press turn system and turn-based RPGs. It takes the classic turn-based formula and makes it its own. The Persona 5 cast is so alluring and proof the Phantom Thieves are the masters of stealing hearts. The growth of each party member throughout the progress of the story is a testament to the masterclass story presentation of the Persona team. I go to SMT for the dark, troubling stories, and Persona for the upper crust class. This combination of the goth and the cool kid from school have solidified my hope for the future of turn-based RPGs. Throughout the course of this game, I went from being addicted to collecting all the different personas, to becoming addicted to the combat, to falling in love with the characters, to experiencing all 5 stages of grief once I finished it. Please, my God, could I capture that moment and relive this game for the first time once again? At least we shouldn't have that long to wait for Persona 6, right? Right? Also, I want to give a big shout out to Persona 4 and 3. After I beat 5, I had to jump into these 2, and they are life-changing. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of today's video. I had a lot of fun making it, but I do want to explain to you why Final Fantasy VII Remake was not on this video. 2020 has been a very crazy year, and after I had finished Persona 5 Royal, life got pretty insane for my family. But now things are settling down, we're back home for the holidays, and I have access to my PS4 again. I'm very excited about that. So that's why today's list was mostly handhelds, because the Switch and Vita, they're incredible because I can play them whenever and wherever I want. But I'm excited to get into Final Fantasy VII Remake finally and tell you guys all about it in the coming weeks. Let me know down in the comments what your 10 favorite games were you played this year. And like this video if you liked it, and subscribe so we can hang out again in the future. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.